Okay, today is Sunday, the 18th of February, 2024. We've been out here for the last couple of hours trashing this chassis. And I mean, we gutted it down to our limit. We still gotta yank that can off of there. And I gotta snip off all the get room in there for the other E-caps to go in. We've got the broadcast shortwave wafer switch out, the oscillator coil out, along with the I think, well, I better shut my mouth because I don't want to be wrong. We got the push button assembly tore down. It's going to get cleaned up and everything. The speaker is going to be on its own. We're going to do surgery to it later. We'll do surgery to the IF cans. They had rubber wiring. Yes, everything in here is rubber. Everything except for these. I don't know why. And the of course the transformer wiring, primary, high voltage, secondary. It is cloth covered. All the rest of the stuff is either crap or it's crap. So we're gonna do some of the soft stuff first. We're gonna get this separated out so we can get this in the dip and get it cleaned up. We're gonna work on getting that E-cap out of there so that we can get it cleaned up and room made. We're gonna go to the IF cans and strip them down, the coils down, and get them rewired. And then everything else that you don't see here is out in the dip. So just debating how much of this I want to document on video. We'll do some, but you may not get blow by blow or play by play or second by second, but we'll give you some. So we'll be back after a while, so stay tuned. Now, as far as the cabinet B, we got the grill front off of it. It's missing a couple of bars here. So we managed getting that pretty much on the thing, but it's cracked up here on the back, so it's starting to split apart. And we're going to go ahead and rebond it together as soon as all the juice dries. That white vinegar works wonders on this old glue. It will get it apart eventually. So we managed getting the case back to raw where we can start working it. There's very little pre-glue ups that we have to do with this. There's a little bit right here, but it's not anything that's serious. We got a little bit of delamination right there. We'll get that all corrected up. And then we got to scour the inside and get it all nice and fresh. I got me a fresh can of Midnight Blue that we'll shoot it with. So stay tuned. We'll have more coming as soon as we can manage getting our bearings again. All right, today is Monday, the 19th of February 2024. Back in the dungeon, and I hadn't noticed this whenever I took an initial look at the speakers situation. The spider is kind of tangled web. In its tangled web, and I hadn't noticed that at the beginning, but that basket frame is warped, or bent, I should say. Bent. I hadn't noticed it too much previously, but now we're going to have to take and reshape it a little bit so we can recone this thing. I got my cones. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to let this spider cure up a little bit before we start dinking around with the thing. I got the tuner cleaned up. The whipper switch cleaned up. We got the drum cleaned up. Now we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to probably jump into the IF cans and get those wound up. We'll let the cans go into the dip and get cleaned up, and then we'll extract the buttons off the push button assembly, and we'll figure out something else to do. So stand by, we got more coming. Okay, as soon as the world starts shaking there, wait, what a bit. I got it on in a stirrup on a long rod thingy, and so consequently it gets a little shaky after I touch it. So don't touch it. Okay, we're going to start on the IF cans. The first one up for bid, the first one up for grabs is the primary, is the first IF, and you can tell the difference between the first and the second IF by the number of wires there are that coming out of it, or that's connected to it. The first IF generally always has 4 wires. And now you have to keep in mind where they occupy the space on the chassis. And once in a while you'll run across one of these sleeves that they put in there to kind of, I don't know, keep anything from touching anything else. And to help insulate the thingy and maybe absorb some of the moisture in the thing, in the can. And you'll find them in generally one or both. So if you don't find any, you can make your own, just wrap it around, give it a little tape thingy there, and then slide it into the can and be done with it. So now, what we're going to need on these is a red, a blue, a green, and a black. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the blue first, because it's going to be the longest run in the chassis. And excuse my nose, it's talking to me again. Let me scooch up here. Ooh. That IF can occupies space right there, right underneath this cap. It comes through, and you see that black chinkamonkey there. That blue has got to slide into that spring. There's a spring in there, and it's jacketed so it doesn't arc to anything that it's going through. And it goes over here to pin, I think it's pin, yeah, it's pin 3, maybe pin 3 of the B8 tube. Let's see, where does it go? Pin 2 of the B8 tube. My bad. So that is going to be the longest run. The next longest run, let's get my little chicken scratches here so you can see what I'm seeing. Here's the IF right down in the thingy there, and here is the blue. It goes in that spring that's jacketed, and it comes over here to the B8 tube, pin 2. The next longest run is the red wire that comes up here to the terminal strip up here. It's this red one there that you see down in there. It's that red one. I cut it somewhere right in the middle there, so I didn't have to wrestle the whole darn line out of the chassis. And then the next longest one is going to be this black wire that comes up here and goes up here to this terminal strip. It goes right there. Get that up out of the way. It goes right to that terminal, first terminal on this terminal strip that is right behind this, if you could see it, right behind this trimmer, behind the volume control. So that is the next, and then the last one is the green wire that goes down here to pin, I think it's pin 6 of the A7 tube. So with that in mind, what I generally do, your results will be different. What I do is I let that stick through there for a little while, a little lengthy there, and then I follow the spring to the point of where this thing falls right there, and then I add the height of the can to it, and that's going to be the length that I'm going to cut this blue wire. Maybe just a little tad bit more, ½ inch or so. Okay, now, and then the red, I do this similar to the red. I go to where it ties on, give it a little extra, come over to where the can resides on top, add to the can, and snip it off. That takes care of the red. Now the black. Looks like my camera is going nuts trying to focus and refocus and both us. Okay, and then I give it a little extra there. I come over to where the can resides in the thing, and I go the length of the can again. And there's that one. And then I go to the green, and the green is just a short little bitty sucker that goes right to the pin 6 of the can, except what a feeder. And then I go to the height of the can, plus a little bit more, and there's that. Okay, there's all the wires cut for my first IF. Now, anyway, here's the numbers for the IF can, the first IF can. Those are going to go in the dip as soon as I get to the point where I don't need these things anymore for the time being. So now, let me reposition you over here. There, whoa, okay. Dramamine needed. We'll move that back there out of the way so we don't get it into somebody. Okay, now in the bottom of this thing, there's a little dimple there that is good enough for a screw. And what I do is I take and I put, excuse me, I had some toast this morning, and I screw that down in there a little bit, and that gives me a chance to hold on to that thing and hold on to that thing. Okay, now you can start anywhere you want and everything. Red and blue make green. No, yellow and blue make green. Red and blue are going to be the primary coil of the. So generally what I do, so I don't freak out, and then I rotate it around and I do the secondary there, and the green and the black will be your secondary coil. Secondary coil, primary coil. At least on the Zenith, that's how they did it. And I don't know why, for some reason, they use different colors. For some, I don't know why they didn't keep it the same. But generally, you'll find that, and most of the other manufacturers, they kind of took that normal thing too. Red and blue for primary, green and black for secondary. Now on the second IF, there's going to be an extra wire or two. We'll get to that later. So you can see here that, at least I hope you can see here, that these coil wires, one comes off the inside, this one down here at the bottom, it comes off the inside of this winding, comes up here and goes to the red. The outside, or the end of the winding, comes out through here and comes up to the blue. The blue goes to the plate of the previous tube, and I think this one here is the B8. The B8. That's pin 2 of the B8 is the plate. This one here is B+, and that's what goes down there to the terminal strip. So be careful of these wires. You don't want to overheat and destroy the thing, but what I generally do is, so that I don't even go there, I take the and I strip down all the wires that I'm going to be connecting on the chinka-wonky thingy. Okay, now this one here. Generally what I can do, hang on, I'll be right back. I gotta moisten my sponge. Okay, I've been moistened. Okay, now what I generally do is, sometimes, depending on the complexity of the connection here. I will nip off the thing tight to the thing and then just heat it. But generally you can just heat the connection and draw up the, you see how that wire wanting to come with it. Okay, that was the blue wire. We're gonna put the blue lead back in that hole, hopefully. There we go. No. And then, oh, sorry about that. The phone is just about 4 inches away from this spot here, so I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to be able to get this in frame or what. That's the reason why I don't do too many detailed videos of what I do, is because it's just too cumbersome to get everything set and everything in the shot, and hopefully everything is situated in the right spot, and there's no chance of missing any part of the detail of what is being done. And let's get that. Okay, that was good. Now we got the green, Mr. Green Jeans here. There we go. And we're going to go back with the green again. There we go. It's pretty cut and dried, you know, if everything goes your way. You can usually do this in short order. But on occasion I have taken and snipped the wire loose from the thing and then just went the other way with the thingy and put it on there. Because you don't want to, and then nothing like finishing a sentence. I need to put a little extra on this. A little extra secret sauce, if you please. Okay. Now, what I would generally do with this, let's see if I can, let's slide this down here. What I would do is do a little exposing of the tip on the other. It ain't gonna matter because you're gonna cut them later on before you put them in it a little bit. Okay, now what I would do is, just to make sure everything is, brick. And turn on my meter here to continuity. You should have continuity on the red and the blue and the green and the black. So here's the red and here's the blue. Just to make sure that And here's the green, and here's the black. "16 ohms. I didn't get a reading off this one. 16 ohms. Yeah, ohms. So that's how you can check it and make sure that you didn't break any of the wires on the coils. So now what we will do, since that jacket came off of this, we will put it back on here for later. There we go. One down, one to go. Now you can back out your screwy-roo. And put that back over there with the thingy. And put the screw back into this one. My screwdriver. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's get this thing back over here. Now, the second IF. What I should do is get this in my hand. And you're going to see that on this one there's a resistor. Sometimes you'll have a cap inside the can also, maybe even a couple of caps. Well, there is already a couple of caps if you want to be technical about it. This one's a cap and that one's a cap. There are other caps that are possibly in here too, but you don't see those readily. Now, the same nomenclature goes for this one as for the previous one. Red and blue make green. I mean, red and blue are the primary. So if you wanted to, you could do that right off the bat. Pry. And this one here is sex. Secondary. Okay. Now, the red and the blue are the primary. You notice that it comes off the bottom down here. These leads go down to the bottom coil. The other coil, the leads come up and tie to green, which is going to be the grid of the following tube. And that is, let me see. The 7A7 is going to go to pin 6 of the 7A7 tube. Now, there is no other wire that comes off this end of that secondary trimmer. A resistor ties to it along with the coil of the secondary, and then it goes through a resistor to a terminal over on this side, and a brown wire. Typically it is a brown wire. This one here will go to your audio, one leg of your audio pot. And then over here there is a Let me see if let me get this turned down so I can get this in here. Here is the second IF. Here is the blue, comes in, red goes out. Ties to B+. Okay, now here's the green we just covered. It goes over here to pin 6. It may also short and go to pin 5. And in this case it do. But the other side, you notice this configuration here. Well, these two condensers are in the trimmer case. They're in the base of the, they're down in there. They're down in here. Now generally you don't have an issue with those. Generally you don't have an issue with those. But the resistor you may. I've had some that doubled in value and others that went slightly down in value. Well, double check that value of that resistor. It'll be good to 20% up or down, maybe even more than that. But if you suspect any conditions about it, to clip it out of there and put a fresh one in there. And of course, out of that one there, other side of the resistor, there's a brown. And then over here, there's a gray. Well, in this one here, it's looking kind of white, more white than gray. But I noted it as gray, and I'm going to put a gray back in there. And it goes over here to the cathode of the B6 tube. So there are 5 wires on this second IF. And typically that's the configuration that you're going to find on most second IF transformers. Like I say, some throw in an extra cap here and there or whatever, but that's why I always say, you know, before you go to tinkering in a doggone thing like I see a lot of these guys do, get yourself a schematic and eliminate all, and then do your little due diligence and overlook the thing and look at the characteristics of the circuit before you go in and say, well, I don't know why they did this, but they did that and they did this, and then it doesn't matter what they did, it's what you do. And as long as you follow and you grab that schematic and you follow it and you can trace it out and you can see where everything is, it doesn't matter what anybody else did, and you don't have to blame anybody else for your sorrow. You fix it. That's what we do. We fix it. So now I've got to do the same procedure with this as I did with the previous IF can. I'm not going to do that because this video is already getting to be a little excessive. So whenever I get the wires on the IF can on the IF coils, we'll be back. So hang in there. Okay, there we are. We got her all wrapped up. Got to take my screw back. There we go. Okay, and we check the leads out. You won't get anything on the gray, but you will from green to brown. That's on the secondary, and it should read slightly approximately around what the value of the resistor is. There are 31 ohms on the primary coil, and it's showing 27 on one and 27 on the other. The other, you won't be able to get 27 out of the connections on here, because that pointy, this connection right there, you'll be able to get to that connection on that tube, but you won't be able to get to that one. So you're going to read through here, and that would be 47K approximately. When you get it out of the can, and you should get it out of the can, because these are Krusty the Clown wires and they need to be replaced. I know a lot of people will not do that. They won't even go there, but you should, if you want a reliable radio. On this side, the primary side, you'll be able to get that 27 or thereabouts. As long as you get a reading, it'll be good. So now that we've got that pretty much done, and we got that one done, we can go ahead and throw our canisters in the dip and get them cleaned up and buffed and finished. So now we're going to move to what? Pulling the buttons off of the push button assembly. So hang in there. All right, it is still Monday, and probably around 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We got out here yesterday evening and scratched and scratched and scratched this thing to get it in the condition you see it now. We are working on getting this put back together, because even though it came out in one piece, it was still cracked. And then I broke it off the rest of the way just to get the parts separated out, so I could do a re-gluing and a refitment of it. I still got to come up with the bars. I think I got some from the last one that I made. I'm hoping that at least we got one, but I need 2 for this one. So we're still going to be gluing this up. This has got a little while to go yet before being unclamped, and then we can get the rest of that onto this. We've got the inside finished, midnight blue. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it ready right now, since I got plenty of sunlight left, and it's a beautiful day. Yesterday was nice too, and the day before that was nice, pretty nice too. We're going to get some pre-stain on this, and we're going to hopefully get it stained. Well, we're going to have to get it stained within 2 hours. So hang on, we're going to be coming back for more before the day's over. All right, today is still Monday. Happy President's Day to all the presidents. It's 4 o'clock in the evening. We managed to get this chassis cleaned up. I didn't put any silver metallic on this, titanium silver metallic on this. It's raw. I kind of like the way the chassis came out with just a steel bristle brush. This came out pretty good, so I didn't need to really do anything with this either. So we got it sealed up, And now that we are getting our bearings, it's a downhill slide now. I've got the cabinet stained, and it's going to cure for the rest of the night and probably a good portion of tomorrow because I got an appointment in Phoenix. What we have been doing in the last about an hour or so is coming in here and getting this thing prepped for rewiring. We took the power wire loose on all of these filament lugs, on all of these. That one's hiding back in there, and this one over here on the rectifier tube. So we're going to daisy chain these all, and it's going to be one continuous loop all the way through. So I only have to do soldering once on this thing. Yeah, I broke this one. Well, I didn't break it. I snipped it a little too close, and it got an owie. So I had to scab on a piece of metal to that so that I could bring it up and get it there so I could put the wire back on it. And now we're going to start going in here and trashing all the rubber wiring in here. And we're first going to start with the 6-volt positive side of the 6-volt, yeah, positive side, because the other side goes to ground. So we're going to do the 6-volt line, and then we're going to go one by one every dinkin wire that's connected to each tube. We're going to take that to its resting spot, and then we're going to replace the caps. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get down in here as soon as I get some room available and trash that E-cap. So stay tuned for that. I just realized that I'm in the wrong orientation on this thing. So anyway, we'll see you later. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned in the next couple of days. I'm still waiting for the lens cover for that. It's 615. And I don't know, a couple other things. So we'll see you again on the next one. Thanks for watching.